Recorded Books and RB Digital present Bannerless by Carrie Vaughn. Narrated by Alyssa Bresnahan. Chapter 1. Haven. A Suspicious Death. Enid came downstairs into a kitchen, bright with morning sun blazing through the one window and full of the greasy smell of cooked sausage. Olive already had breakfast. Sausage, toast, cream, set out on the table. In her dress and apron, her dark hair pulled back with a scrap of cloth, she was already at work, but shouldn't have been, in Enid's opinion. "How are you feeling?" Enid asked, hoping to keep worry out of her voice. "I wish people would stop asking me that," Olive said, not looking up from the batch of dough that she was kneading, folding and punching it into the counter as if she could make it disappear. 3 other batches of dough sat rising in nearby bowls. Serenity household didn't need that much bread. Olive would probably trade it around the rest of Haven town. Enid couldn't help herself. "How long you been up?" Olive's smile was strained. "Up before Beryl this morning." Beryl worked the early shift at the goat farm outside town. He was usually the first one up. "You sure you shouldn't be resting? You don't have to work so hard." "I want to be useful. I have to be useful." "You are," Enid thought. Maybe part of Olive resting was just leaving her alone to mourn the miscarriage and recover in her own way, which maybe meant making too much bread. "Tea?" Olive asked as Enid sat and took up a knife to smear cream on a slice of toast. "Sure." Olive smiled broadly. Such a little thing could please her. She bustled between the stove and counter to get the pot ready. Of course, she already had water heated. When the tea was poured, Enid wrapped her hands around the earthenware mug to soak in the warmth, breathing in the steam, and tried not to nag too much. They made small talk about the weather and the town, the late summer market coming up, and which of the outlying households might travel in, which of their far-off friends might visit. Usual gossip about who was sleeping with whom, and whether the grain harvest was going to be over or under quota, and if it was over, would the committee let a couple of fields go fallow next year, though some would grumble that with a surplus the town could support a couple more mouths, hand out a couple more banners. Folk always wanted more banners. After breakfast, Enid helped clean up, but only got as far as wiping down the table. Olive had already taken the plate and cup from her hands to put in the wash basin. "What are you up to today, then?" Olive asked. "I'm off to see if the clinic needs any help. Work's been slow lately." "It's good that work's slow, yeah?" When Enid had work, it meant something had gone wrong. "It is." She put a vest over her tunic, took her straw hat from its hook by the door, and went outside. Didn't get much farther than that and stopped, seeing Tomas coming down the walk toward her. Tomas was a middle-aged man, his silvering hair tied back in a short tail, his face pale and weathered, laugh lines abundant. Average height, a commanding gaze. He wore his investigator's uniform, plain belt and boots, simple tunic and trousers in a dark brown, the color of earth, much deeper than any usual homespun or plain dyed brown. A charge lit her brain. They had a job. "Up for a tough one?" he asked in greeting. "What is it?" "Suspicious death out at Pasadena." His frown pulled at the lines in his face. Enid stood amazed. She had investigated thefts and fraud, households that tried to barter the same bags of grain or barrels of cider twice, or that reneged on trades. She'd broken up fights.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?